Beloved soul, on this journey of life, listen closely. The world has whispered in your ear since childhood, work harder, struggle more, push until you break. And yet, look around, many labor endlessly and remain bound by limitation, while others rise with grace, moving as if carried by unseen wings. Why? Because money does not follow labor. Money follows alignment. You may till the field from dawn until dusk, but if in your heart lives fear, doubt, and disbelief, your harvest will be small. For wealth is not birthed in sweat, it is conceived in the quiet chambers of faith, clarity, and divine expectation. Money is not earned by pain, money is attracted by purpose, certainty, and spiritual poise. When you believe that abundance is your right, when you speak with authority and walk with inner knowing, the universe bends to your command. But when you strive from fear, when you feel unworthy, when you chase wealth as though it may run away, you push it further from your grasp. The world rewards not the frantic, but the aligned, not those who panic, but those who trust. Not those who plead, but those who declare, I am aligned with divine abundance. Wealth flows to me by spiritual law. This is not arrogance, this is truth. Look within yourself. Do you hustle because you fear lack? Or do you act from the joyful certainty that all you seek is already yours? For inspired action contains the seed of miracles. Forced action brings only fatigue. Those who chase struggle receive struggle. Those who honor divine ease receive grace. Say now within your heart, I release the belief that I must suffer to receive. I align with abundance, for God delights in my prosperity. Feel that. Let your spirit rise. Let every cell of your being remember who you are, a vessel chosen for greatness, not scarcity. When your thoughts speak abundance, when your emotions feel abundance, when your actions honor abundance, money has no choice but to arrive. The door you once pushed against will swing open, not by force, but by spiritual law. Opportunities will appear, connections will unfold. Doors will open so silently, so gracefully, that others will call it luck, but you will know it was alignment. Stand tall in your divine destiny. Expect wealth. Command wealth. Live as though it is already done, for truly money does not follow struggle. Money follows the soul aligned with truth, with faith, with purpose, and with the unshakable certainty that abundance belongs to you. And so it is. Money does not respond to labor. Money responds to vibration, clarity, and inner belief. You may see people working from morning to night, their hands weary, their minds exhausted, yet prosperity slips through their fingers like grains of sand. Then you witness others who move through life with an air of calm, their efforts seemingly gentle, yet abundance flows to them with ease. What is the difference? It is not muscle, sweat, or the hours they invest in toil. It is the energy behind their action, the certainty in their heart, and the alignment of their inner world with the frequency of wealth. For money is not commanded by force, it is magnetized by belief and called forth by vibration. It hears the language of faith, not fatigue. It responds to the silent power of certainty, not the desperate energy of struggle. Many labor without belief, and their work becomes a treadmill, endless motion without forward movement, because their soul has not yet claimed wealth as a right. Within every human lies a spiritual blueprint, a divine program that determines the flow of their experience. If within you exists doubt, fear, or the subtle conviction that money is difficult, unspiritual, or earned only through sacrifice, then your energy speaks louder than your actions. You may work tirelessly, but your vibration whispers, I am not worthy. I must earn my value. I must suffer to deserve. Money hears that whisper and honors it, for the universe never argues with your belief. It simply fulfills it. On the other hand, when a soul speaks with quiet authority, I am worthy, I am aligned, wealth flows to me by divine right. The same law responds. Money comes not because of the outer action, but because the inner command was issued. The world has long mistaken physical motion for productive creation. Yet creation first begins in thought, then feeling, then inspired action. Work alone is powerless without belief guiding it, blessing it, breathing spiritual life into it. Think of the farmer who plants seeds but never waters the soil. His labor is earnest, but without nourishment, nothing grows. Thoughts of wealth are seeds, but belief is the water. You may plant every day, work every day, yet if you water your efforts with fear, you feed weeds instead of fruit. Work, when aligned with faith, purpose, and inner certainty, becomes spiritual action. But work born of fear becomes struggle, and struggle births scarcity. There are those who toil because they believe they must. There are those who act because they feel called. One fears not having enough, the other knows they already possess the promise of abundance. One is driven by survival, the other is guided by divine confidence, and life honors the difference. To understand wealth is to understand energy. Money is a form of energy, fluid, responsive, alive in its own vibration. It gravitates toward clarity and confidence. It avoids chaos, doubt, and desperation. When a person wakes with a grateful heart, steadiness in their spirit, and a clear vision of prosperity, they become a magnet. Life begins to arrange circumstances in their favor. People appear with opportunities. Doors open without effort. Ideas arrive with divine timing. This is not coincidence. It is alignment at work. Meanwhile, the one who pushes against life, who wakes already tense, already worried, already believing that the day will be a battle, attracts more struggle. Their belief becomes law, and life obeys the command they unknowingly issued. You have seen individuals who work endlessly yet worry with every step, and their worry cancels their effort. You have seen those who take fewer actions, yet each step is infused with faith, purpose, and certainty. Their work multiplies, their influence expands, and their prosperity rises like dawn, breaking through the night. This is the difference between laboring and aligning. The aligned person does not chase, they attract. They do not beg, they command. They do not fear, they trust. They are not frantic, they are focused. They do not ask, how will it come? They affirm, it is already mine, and life will reveal the path. To shift from hard work to alignment is not to abandon effort, but to elevate it. It is to ensure that every action carries the power of belief. It is to work with a heart filled with gratitude instead of strain. It is to move not because you fear lack, but because you feel inspired. Inspired action holds the energy of success within it. Forced action seeks success from outside itself. One blossoms, the other battles. When your inner worth rises, your outer world adjusts accordingly. When you believe deeply that you deserve abundance, your actions gain a quiet, unstoppable strength. And when you release the belief that money must be wrestled from life, you discover that life never withheld it. You simply blocked its flow with doubt. Money is not stubborn, it is obedient. It follows your frequency like iron shavings follow a magnet. To increase your wealth, increase your vibration. To increase your vibration, increase your certainty. To increase your certainty, speak words of truth, not fear. Say within yourself, I am not earning worth. I am expressing it. For the soul aligned with abundance understands that prosperity is not a prize. It is a reflection. It reflects the state of mind, the condition of belief, the power of inner truth. You do not work to become worthy. You work because you are already worthy. You do not labor to earn your place in the world. You act to embody the divine purpose already placed in your spirit. You do not chase money. You channel abundance by being the presence of clarity, faith, and alignment. Those who understand this move differently. Their energy precedes them, and their life follows the script written by their belief. And when others ask, how did you achieve so much with such grace? They will answer not with methods, but with truth. I aligned first, and the world obeyed. Hard work without alignment creates exhaustion, stress, and scarcity thinking. The world has taught many to grind, to sacrifice sleep, peace, and joy on the altar of achievement, believing that suffering is noble and struggle is proof of effort. Yet look closely at those who live in constant strain. They may move fast, but they are running in circles, fueled by fear, not vision. Their exhaustion becomes a badge of honor, yet their hearts remain heavy, their minds restless, and their spirits burdened. Work, when disconnected from inner truth, becomes bondage. It drains rather than builds, weakens rather than elevates. When you force life, life resists. When you wrestle with your path, the path turns rocky. Hard work alone is not the key to prosperity. Aligned work, inspired work, spiritually charged work, that is the force that moves mountains and manifests miracles. Many have been conditioned to believe that rest is laziness, ease is suspicious, and joy is a luxury reserved for later. They postpone life, postponing happiness until a distant victory that never feels enough when reached. They chase accomplishment to prove their worth, not express it. Their labor becomes a prayer to fear, fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of not having enough. And where fear is the seed, scarcity is the harvest. One may work tirelessly, but if the vibration behind the work is insecurity, the universe hears insecurity and answers accordingly, for energy does not lie. You may speak ambition, but if your heart whispers fear, fear becomes the true command you send into creation. The one who hustles from lack operates as though the world is against them, as though abundance must be begged, forced, fought for. Their days become battles, not blessings. Their minds live in future worry or past regret, rarely present, rarely aligned with the calm certainty that all things unfold in divine rhythm. When effort becomes your identity, you lose touch with grace. You forget that life was not meant to be conquered. It was meant to be collaborated with. The river does not rush to prove itself. It flows because flowing is its nature, and in its flow it shapes mountains. So too are you meant to move with inner alignment, not frantic motion. Scarcity thinking whispers cruel lies. If I stop, I will fall behind. If I rest, I will be forgotten. If I slow down, I will lose everything. These thoughts are chains disguised as responsibility. They push you not toward greatness, but toward burnout. True prosperity does not require you to sacrifice your spirit for success. Abundance does not demand suffering. It responds to faith, confidence, and clarity. When you align with the certainty that you are supported by divine law, you stop chasing life and begin receiving from it. Your actions become graceful, precise, energized, and guided, rather than scattered and frantic. You rise not by force, but by flow. Work done from fear leads to exhaustion. Work done from inspiration breeds expansion. When your efforts are aligned with your purpose, they nourish you. You feel energized by your tasks, not depleted. Your mind stays open, your creativity sharp, your intuition alive. Ideas arrive like gentle whispers. Solutions emerge effortlessly. The right people appear at the right time. This is not magic. This is alignment. This is the divine ordering of events, responding to a soul anchored in trust. Meanwhile, the one who hustles blindly moves against the current, believing that struggle equals achievement. They ignore the signs of fatigue, pushing harder when they should pause, working louder when they should listen, forcing when they should allow. In this state, even success feels fragile, easily lost, constantly threatened. Life was never meant to be lived in survival mode. Those who vibrate in stress cannot receive the gifts designed for those who vibrate in peace. The aligned soul knows that rest is not retreat, it is renewal. Stillness is not stagnation, it is spiritual preparation. Clarity does not come in chaos, it blooms in spaciousness, and when clarity arrives, the right action follows with ease. When you act from alignment, 1 hour can accomplish what 10 hours of desperate hustle could not. Inspired action carries divine momentum. It creates not only results, but fulfillment. You work not from pressure, but from purpose. You build not from fear, but from faith. You no longer labor to prove something. You create to express who you are. Those who honor alignment understand that success is not a race, but a resonance. They do not compete, they magnetize. They do not grind, they glide. Their peace becomes their power, and their presence becomes their prosperity. They know that when you align with your highest truth, life aligns with you. You do not lose time by pausing to connect with your purpose. You accelerate your destiny. You do not fall behind when you rest. You rise stronger. You do not weaken when you trust. You tap into the only strength that never fades, the strength of divine timing and universal support. So breathe. Release the belief that struggle is sacred. Release the false virtue of exhaustion. Let go of the idea that you must suffer to deserve. Step into a higher truth. When your soul is aligned, your work becomes divine. When your energy is rooted in abundance, abundance responds. And when you move from inspired alignment instead of frantic effort, you will not only achieve, you will flourish. You will not only earn, you will expand. You will not only succeed, you will do so with grace, joy, and spiritual power. For true wealth flows not from force, but from inner peace, clarity, and the unshakable knowing that everything you seek is already flowing toward you the moment you align with the belief that you are worthy of receiving it. True prosperity begins with inner clarity and belief that wealth is your divine right. Before abundance can enter your hands, it must first enter your mind, your heart, and your expectation. A person may long for riches, may pray for opportunity, may chase money with every breath. Yet, if in the secret place of their soul they doubt their worthiness, they block the very blessings they seek. The universe does not withhold, it simply mirrors. It reflects not your wishes, but your certainty, not your desire, but your belief. Wealth is not granted to the one who begs for it. It flows to the one who receives it in faith, knowing that they were created not for lack, but for fullness, not for survival, but for expression, expansion, and divine fulfillment. You are not born to struggle through life as if prosperity is reserved for a chosen few. That belief is a shadow of fear passed down through generations who forgot their spiritual inheritance. There is no virtue in poverty unless it is chosen as a spiritual path. There is no shame in wealth unless it becomes greed. Abundance is not a sin. Lack is not a badge of holiness. Life itself is abundant. Look at the stars scattered without measure, oceans stretching without end, flowers blooming year after year regardless of who admires them. Creation does not ration beauty or limit growth. The divine does not whisper, only some may prosper. Scarcity is a construct of human fear, but abundance is the language of spirit. To awaken to your divine right to wealth is not arrogance. It is remembrance. It is reclaiming your spiritual authority. It is understanding that being prosperous does not take from others. It expands what is possible for all. When you thrive, you become a vessel through which blessings flow to others. A lit candle does not dim another flame. It can ignite millions without losing its own light. So too is wealth. It multiplies in the presence of belief. Inner clarity begins with recognizing that money is not your master, nor your enemy, but your servant. It is a tool of expression, a channel of good, a symbol of energy exchanged. When you fear money, you repel it. When you resent money, you block it. When you chase money with desperation, you place it above your divine nature. But when you welcome it as a natural extension of your purpose, when you honor it with gratitude and intention, it responds with loyalty and flow. Wealth is not something you hunt. It is something you become aligned with. You do not force prosperity. You attune to it. Consider the way the sun rises each morning. It does not plead for permission to shine. It simply shines because shining is its nature. In the same way, prosperity blooms in the heart that believes it is natural to receive. When you claim abundance as your birthright, you step into spiritual congruence. Your energy shifts from I hope to I know, from I want to I am, from striving to receiving, and the universe always responds to identity, not intention. It delivers not what you wish, but what you embody. Inner clarity dissolves confusion, and confusion is a thief of manifestation. When you are torn between belief and doubt, you send mixed signals to the divine. One moment you affirm abundance, the next you worry about bills. One moment you feel powerful, the next you shrink in fear. This inner conflict delays your good. But when your mind, emotions, and spirit speak a single truth, I am destined for wealth, guided by purpose, supported by divine law, then the external world aligns to match it, for external reality follows inner truth like a shadow follows light. To believe wealth is your divine right is to release guilt around receiving. It is to stop apologizing for wanting a fuller, richer life. It is to dissolve the false belief that spirituality and wealth stand apart. A starving spirit cannot lift others. A fearful heart cannot teach faith. When you prosper spiritually and materially, you become a beacon of possibility. You live in generosity, not survival. You give freely, not cautiously. You support, uplift, invest, contribute, because your cup overflows, not barely fills. Life does not honor the one who hides from their gifts. It rewards the one who walks boldly in their purpose. Money flows not to the timid heart, but to the aligned soul. This alignment is not loud ambition. It is quiet knowing. It is the calm strength that says, I am meant to prosper because I am a divine creation and abundance is part of my sacred design. When this belief settles into your bones, you no longer hustle to prove yourself. You move to express yourself. You no longer chase opportunity. You attract it. Your presence becomes magnetic, not because you demand wealth, but because you radiate the truth that you deserve it. And so, inner clarity requires you to choose faith over doubt each day, to silence the old voices, those planted by society, family, fear, and replace them with spiritual truth. Speak blessings over your life, not limitations. Declare wealth, not want. Feel abundance before it arrives. See yourself already prospering. Move as though doors are opening, even before you see them, for faith is not believing after proof. It is believing before manifestation. It is the power that turns unseen promise into lived reality. You are not asking life for charity. You are claiming your inheritance. You are not hoping for luck. You are aligning with law. And just as surely as the sun rises, the alignment will bear fruit. Prosperity will arrive, not as an accident, but as a response. Blessings will multiply, not as a favor, but as a reflection. Your outer world will shift, not by force, but by divine correspondence. For once the inner world accepts abundance as truth, the outer world has no choice but to follow. You are not created for smallness. You are created to flourish, to prosper, to live in overflow so that your light nourishes others. Wealth is not the reward. It is the natural consequence of alignment. And when you believe this deeply, fully, unapologetically, your life will become a living testament to the truth that divine abundance is not earned by strain. It is claimed through spiritual certainty and received with open hands and an open heart. Alignment means your thoughts, feelings, and actions are united with your intention for wealth. It is not enough to think rich while feeling fear, or speak abundance while acting in hesitation. The universe listens not to scattered energy, but to the harmony within you. If the mind holds vision yet the heart holds doubt, your vibration sends mixed messages and mixed results appear. Many people desire prosperity, but their inner dialogue whispers lack. What if I fail? What if there's not enough? What if I lose everything? These silent fears shape their frequency more strongly than any spoken affirmation could. The soul must agree with the mind, and the body must move in the same faith the spirit carries. Alignment is spiritual integrity, your inner truth and outer behavior walking hand in hand toward the same destiny. Imagine the power of a river flowing in one clear direction. It moves with grace, it carves stone, it nourishes life wherever it travels. Now imagine that river divided into many small streams, each uncertain of its path. Its strength weakens, its purpose dilutes, and its ability to reach the ocean fades. So it is with your energy. When your thoughts say wealth, your words say one day, and your actions say, I am afraid. Your manifestation becomes a river without force. The intention is noble, but the energy is divided. Prosperity requires unity within yourself, your belief steady, your emotions trusting, your actions courageous. You cannot walk toward abundance while holding hands with doubt. You cannot call in blessings while feeding fear. You must choose one master, faith or fear. Alignment is not loud or dramatic. It is quiet certainty. It is waking each day with gratitude and conviction before evidence appears. It is acting on intuition without waiting for permission. It is trusting timing instead of forcing outcomes. It is taking inspired steps, not anxious leaps. When aligned, you do not hustle from panic. You move with inner guidance. Your decisions come from clarity, not pressure. Opportunities find you because your frequency calls them. You do not chase, you attract. You do not grab, you receive. You do not prove, you embody. You become like a tuning fork, vibrating at the frequency of wealth, and by spiritual law, all that matches must respond. Many struggle not because they lack talent, effort, or intelligence, but because their internal world is in conflict. They affirm abundance but wake every morning expecting struggle. They visualize success yet constantly check for failure. They speak prosperity, but in private they confess fear. Manifestation is not performed, it is lived. It requires emotional congruence. You must feel wealthy before wealth arrives. You must trust opportunity before it appears. You must act like a receiver, not a beggar. And when doubt enters, and doubt will enter, you do not surrender to it, you bless it and release it. Alignment does not mean perfection. It means returning to faith again and again until faith becomes your natural rhythm. The aligned soul walks differently. There is calm around them, a subtle power, a quiet authority. They are not rushed because they know nothing good can miss them. They are not anxious because they trust divine timing. They are not jealous of others' success because they stand rooted in the truth that abundance is infinite. Their thoughts are clean, their words intentional, their actions purposeful. They do not waste energy fighting circumstances. They speak life into them. They do not complain, they command. They do not hope, they expect. Their vibration becomes a signal to the universe. I am ready, I am deserving, I am aligned. To live aligned is to become a master of your inner climate. To hold belief steady when external noise distracts. To respond to life rather than react to fear. To choose faith over evidence until evidence bows to faith. When you think rich and feel rich and act rich, not in arrogance but in divine confidence, you unlock the spiritual mechanism through which abundance flows. Money is not the cause of alignment, it is the result. Prosperity arrives as a reflection, a mirror, a consequence of your inner wholeness. And as you stay aligned, wealth no longer feels like something you chase. It becomes something you naturally embody, attract, and live. Success comes not from pushing, but from allowing, trusting, and moving in inspired faith. There is a sacred difference between effort born from fear and action birthed from divine confidence. Many people believe that the more they struggle, the more they force, the more they grind, the more worthy they become of success. They stretch themselves thin, chase opportunities in desperation, and fight against the flow of life as if success is a door only brute strength can break open. Yet the truth is gentle and powerful. The greatest achievements arise not from frantic striving, but from graceful alignment. When your soul is anchored in faith, and your mind is attuned to possibility, you become a vessel through which divine ideas flow unhindered. You do not force results, you allow results to unfold. You do not cling, you trust. You do not panic, you move with certainty that what is meant for you will arrive and arrive with perfect timing. To push is to believe you are alone in your journey, as though life rests solely on your shoulders. To allow is to recognize the invisible forces working in your favor. Every dream placed in your heart was placed with a corresponding pathway, and that pathway reveals itself not through struggle, but through stillness and inner knowing. Inspired faith whispers, go here, try this, say yes, say no. It guides you gently yet powerfully. It nudges you toward opportunities and away from chaos. It does not rush, it unfolds. When you trust that guidance, doors open without force, connections appear effortlessly, and your steps become blessed with momentum that no amount of pushing could create. The world often worships hustle, believing speed is power and movement equals progress. But the soul knows better. Frantic energy repels miracles while trust invites them. When you wrestle with life, you block what is trying to reach you. When you relax into divine timing, you magnetize your desires. This does not mean passivity. It means purity of movement. Instead of 100 anxious steps, you take one powerful one. Instead of chasing 10 fleeting ideas, you act on the one inspired thought that lights your spirit. That kind of action carries the force of the divine behind it. It multiplies, it ripples, it compels success because it originates not from fear but from truth. Allowing is not weakness, it is mastery. It requires deeper strength than force ever could. To allow, you must trust the unseen. You must surrender the illusion of control. You must release the belief that results come only through strain. This surrender is not defeat. It is partnership with a power greater than yourself. It is saying, I am guided, supported, provided for. My path is prepared and I walk it with confidence. In this state, effort becomes joyful, work becomes meaningful, and progress becomes inevitable. You do not scramble, you flow, you do not grasp, you receive, you do not fear losing, you expect winning, and expectation is a magnet far stronger than desperation ever could be. Those who live in inspired faith exude a quiet confidence. They are not in a hurry, yet they move with purpose. They do not overthink, yet their decisions carry wisdom. They do not worry about what's next, because they know the next step will reveal itself at the perfect moment. Life supports them because they support life. They are tuned to opportunity, receptive to intuition, open to guidance, and fearless in execution. They know that their role is not to control the outcome, but to be aligned with the process. They trust that what is theirs cannot be lost, and what is not theirs will never bring peace. Their patience is not waiting, it is power. Their stillness is not stagnation, it is preparation. Their faith is not a wish, it is a law they live by. When you stop forcing life, life stops resisting you. When you stop chasing, you begin attracting. When you stop doubting, you begin receiving. Success flows when your inner world matches the frequency of abundance. And abundance is not frantic. It is calm, assured, expansive, graceful. It arrives through ease, not exhaustion, clarity, not chaos, faith, not force. The universe responds to trust like flowers respond to sunlight. They open, they bloom, they reveal their beauty freely. Move from inspiration, not anxiety. Act with certainty, not fear. Trust what you desire desires you too. Allow life to unfold, and you will witness miracles where once you struggled. For success built in alignment has staying power, spiritual backing, and emotional peace. And once you taste success that flows rather than burns, you will never again seek it through force. You will summon it through faith. There comes a moment in every seeker's journey when they realize that life is not moved by frantic hands, but by faithful hearts. Your circumstances are not shaped by the noise of your struggle, but by the quiet certainty of your belief. You do not attract prosperity by running faster, sweating harder, or exhausting your spirit. You attract it by knowing, deep within, that you are worthy, guided, provided for, and divinely supported in all you do. True abundance does not obey the clock, it obeys conviction. It flows not to the loudest worker, but to the clearest believer. For when the mind aligns with truth and emotion aligns with peace, the outer world must obey the inner command. To receive wealth, one does not beg the universe, one assumes the abundance as already theirs. This is not arrogance, this is divine intelligence. The child of a king does not approach the kingdom trembling. They walk through the palace with assurance, knowing every room belongs to them by birthright, and so must you move with certainty, not strain. For life meets you at the level of your identity, not your effort. If you see yourself as struggling, life will echo struggle. If you see yourself as prosperous, life will bend to your prosperity. The invisible first, the visible second. The thought first, the form second. All creation begins unseen, and your wealth begins in the sanctuary of your belief. When you align your inner world with abundance, you speak differently. You no longer say, "I hope money comes," but instead, "I am aligned with wealth, and all that is mine flows to me with ease." You stop questioning when and how, because you understand that doubt delays while faith delivers. The universe responds to certainty like a seed responds to fertile soil. It cannot help but bloom. It does not ask if it should bloom. It is compelled by its nature to bring forth fruit, and your prosperity is no different. It is already encoded in your destiny. You do not force the blessing, you remove the fear that blocks it. Many have been taught that wealth arrives only after sacrifice, exhaustion, and toil. But look around, are the most financially abundant always the most exhausted? Do the weary command gold? Know those who understand the laws of mind walk effortlessly in grace. They do not chase opportunity, they attract it. They do not scramble in fear, they stand in truth. They do not battle the world, they command their reality from within. They know that money is not earned through suffering, it is magnetized through alignment. The vibration of strain pushes prosperity away. The vibration of trust draws it in like light draws the dawn. When the heart is aligned, opportunities appear like stepping stones across a river. Ideas sparkle in the mind like stars awakening at twilight. Inspiration moves you softly, yet powerfully, and suddenly the thing that once felt impossible becomes natural, effortless, inevitable. You find yourself doing less but receiving more. You feel guided rather than pressured. You trust instead of push. For what belongs to you cannot be stolen, delayed, or denied. It arrives in its appointed season, and your belief prepares the soil for that season. To align with wealth is to release the illusion that you must force your way into abundance. You do not force flowers to bloom. You water the soil and trust the sun. You do not command the ocean waves. You surrender to their rhythm. In the same way, you do not command money through panic, you allow it through certainty. You are not meant to live in tension, grasping, fearing, begging life to bless you. You are meant to stand in the majestic, knowing that you are a vessel of divine provision, and your supply is limitless because the source that sustains creation itself sustains you. Speak to your wealth as if it were already present. Feel the comfort of security before the bank confirms it. Walk as if doors are opening before you even knock. When doubt arises, and it will attempt to answer not with fear, but firmness. Say, "I am aligned with divine supply. What is mine is already here in spirit and reveals itself in perfect timing." Every time you speak faith where fear once lived, you raise your frequency. Every time you see abundance where lack used to dwell, you shift your reality at its core. And when the unseen shifts, the seen must follow. Some will say, "But I work so hard, why hasn't abundance come?" Because the universe does not reward strain, it rewards alignment. You may lift 1,000 bricks with your hands, yet move no closer to prosperity if your mind lifts only doubt. Another may sit in calm confidence, taking inspired action, and wealth flows to them like a river to the sea. The world calls it luck. The wise know it is spiritual law. Energy precedes matter. Belief precedes manifestation. Identity precedes income. Wealth is not earned, it is allowed. So today, release the belief that you must suffer to succeed, that exhaustion is noble, or that fear protects you. Breathe deeply and declare that prosperity is not a pursuit, it is a presence. It lives within you now. Feel it, embrace it, and walk in the stillness of one who knows they are provided for beyond measure. No longer chase money, embody the energy that money chases. For wealth is attracted to peace, confidence, and faith. It moves swiftly toward the one who understands their divine worth and flees the one who clings in fear. May every word you speak be a seed of abundance. May every thought be a vessel of wealth. May your spirit rise like sunlight over mountains, and may your life overflow with the grace of divine supply. You were never meant to fight for blessings, you are meant to align with them. Stand tall, breathe deeply, believe boldly, and watch as the universe mirrors your certainty. Wealth is not coming, it is already here. And as you align, it reveals itself more and more, until your life becomes a living testament to the eternal truth. Prosperity follows alignment, not struggle. And you, beloved soul, were born to receive with grace, not labor in fear. There comes a sacred turning point in every soul's journey when struggle becomes too small a story to fit who you truly are. You awaken one morning not with a shout, but with a quiet knowing that you were never meant to live in survival mode. You were never born to wrestle life into giving you scraps. You were born to command your reality with grace, with poise, with spiritual authority. For true power does not roar, it whispers. True abundance does not chase, it magnetizes. And the moment you stop trying to force outcomes and instead stand in the certainty of your divine identity, the world begins to move for you. The universe does not respond to panic, nor does it honor desperation. It responds to clarity. It obeys confidence. It bows to calm expectation. When you are aligned, you do not beg for doors to open. You walk knowing they are already unlocked. When you embody abundance, you no longer search outward, you recognize the supply rising from within you. Every thought becomes a decree, every belief becomes a law, and every emotion becomes an invitation. You stop seeking permission to prosper and instead claim what was spiritually yours before the world ever taught you limitation. Many spend their days trying to figure out how wealth will come, examining every detail, measuring every angle, worrying over every possibility, as though the universe depends on their human calculations to deliver blessings. But divine supply does not move through stress, it moves through surrender. It flows not because you demand control, but because you release control. The seed does not force itself to grow, it aligns with the laws of nature. The river does not debate whether to flow, it simply yields and moves. And so must you, the moment you surrender the need to micromanage the universe and instead trust your divine path, life accelerates in your favor. You do not align by pushing, you align by allowing. You allow ideas to come instead of chasing them. You allow opportunities to find you instead of forcing motion without purpose. You allow prosperity to enter instead of blocking it with worry, tension, and doubt. The one who trusts receives faster than the one who strives. Trust is not inactivity, it is spiritual readiness. It is the vibration that says, I know my good is already here, and I am open to receive it in perfect form and timing. And in that frequency, miracles feel natural. What once seemed hard becomes effortless. What once looked impossible becomes inevitable. When you live in alignment, you begin to notice synchronicities everywhere, subtle whispers from the universe guiding your steps. A conversation leads to an opportunity. A thought becomes a breakthrough. A chance meeting becomes a blessing. You hear intuition where once you heard anxiety. You feel inspired where once you felt pressured. You see paths where once you saw obstacles. You no longer force solutions, you recognize them. And you understand finally that inspired action is far more powerful than frantic activity. One step taken in divine guidance carries more weight than 1,000 taken in fear. Fear tries to rush you. Faith allows you to breathe. Fear shouts, hurry or you will miss it. Faith reminds, what is mine cannot pass me. Fear tells you to cling, scratch, and scramble. Faith teaches you to trust, expand, and rise. Fear sees scarcity. Faith sees abundance. And every moment, you choose which voice leads your life, the voice of panic or the voice of power. The moment you silence fear and honor faith, you attract wealth not as a visitor, but as a companion. You begin to move differently when you know you are supported. Your decisions carry certainty. Your energy becomes magnetic. People feel your presence and cannot explain why they are drawn to you. Doors open for you not because you fought your way through them, but because your frequency matched the key. And every time you release fear and choose trust, you strengthen that frequency. You become a living declaration of universal truth. Abundance does not follow strain, it follows surrender. It follows peace. It follows the soul who trusts its divine worth and divine timing above all physical appearances. Let the world chase. Let the fearful rush. Let the anxious try to outrun their own shadow. You will rise in calm authority, knowing your good seeks you as faithfully as you seek it. There is no need to force what is already ordained. Your blessings were prepared before you ever took form on this earth. The supply was assigned when the desire was born. Every true desire is a prophecy of fulfillment. You would not feel the pull if it were not meant for you. The desire itself is proof of destiny. So breathe deeply. Release the heaviness of striving. You do not need to earn what already belongs to you. You do not need to wrestle for what flows by spiritual law. You do not need to prove your worthiness. Existence has already proven it. You need only align. Let your thoughts align with faith. Let your emotions align with peace. Let your choices align with trust. Let your identity align with abundance, and then watch not with doubt, but with certainty as life unfolds in your favor. As supply finds you, as blessings gather around you, as opportunity crowns you. For you are not here to survive, you are here to manifest. You are not here to struggle, you are here to express divine abundance. Stand in your knowing, walk in your truth, live in your alignment. Release the need to push and enter the power of allowing. For the universe does not bless the frantic, it blesses the faithful. And you, beloved soul, were born to be a vessel of faith, a magnet for wealth, a living demonstration that prosperity is not achieved through force, but through spiritual alignment. The moment you trust, you receive. There is a point in life when you finally understand that the universe is not withholding anything from you. There is no cosmic lock on your blessings. There is no gatekeeper standing between you and your abundance. The only barriers are the beliefs you carry, the inner whispers of unworthiness, the memories of struggle you replay out of habit, and the thoughts that say, I must fight for what could be freely given if I simply believed. When you align your mind with truth instead of fear, you begin to see that prosperity has always been circling you, waiting for the moment you declared yourself ready to receive. It is not effort that opens the door to wealth, it is identity. It is the inner shift from I hope to I am. The moment you claim your place as a vessel of divine supply, the universe responds, energy moves, circumstances rearrange, resources flow. What once felt distant begins to feel natural. And it all begins inside you, not in the world around you. The outer world is only a mirror, it cannot reflect abundance until you hold abundance internally. It cannot show you wealth while you believe yourself separate from it. So the work is not to chase money, but to elevate your belief to match the life you desire. Imagine a person standing before a locked treasure chest, pushing, pulling, forcing, straining only to realize years later that the key has been in their pocket the entire time. That key is belief, not casual belief, not occasional hope, but unwavering inner knowing. The moment you believe the treasure is yours, your hand reaches for the key naturally. The moment you see yourself as blessed rather than lacking, the universe reflects it. You are not here to struggle for spiritual riches. You are here to claim what is already yours through consciousness. Many people ask for abundance while speaking words drenched in lack. They pray for financial ease, but wake each day expecting difficulty. They affirm wealth in the morning, and by afternoon they say, nothing ever works out for me. Their mouth blesses while their energy denies. They yearn for prosperity, but prepare for disappointment. And so the universe, which reflects vibration, not language, waits for their belief to align. You cannot plant a seed and then uproot it in doubt every hour. You must plant it, water it with faith, and trust the unseen process. Faith is not seeing the blessing, it is knowing the blessing exists even in silence. The mind wants proof before believing, but the spirit knows that belief creates proof. Every wealthy person, every successful soul, every visionary who reshaped their destiny first held a picture in the unseen. They dared to trust their inner vision over visible conditions. They refused to bow to circumstance. They aligned with their future more than their past, and so life had no choice but to conform. You too must choose the unseen before it becomes seen. You must speak the blessing before it arrives. You must live in the vibration of the outcome long before the outcome appears. Alignment is not passive, it is powerful. It is the most potent state of creation. When you align, you place yourself in the channel of divine flow. Ideas come not forced but inspired. People arrive not by chance but by resonance. Opportunities unfold not by luck but by law. You begin to move differently, calmer, clearer, anchored in inner certainty. Life becomes cooperative instead of combative. Instead of climbing mountains, you simply walk through doors that were always meant for you. Instead of pushing, you allow. Instead of striving, you receive. Do not mistake surrender for weakness. Surrender is strength. It is standing in such unshakable faith that you no longer need to wrestle with life. You trust the way the sun trusts the morning. You believe the way the ocean believes in its tide. You know the way the seed knows it will bloom, even when buried in darkness. The highest power is stillness, not struggle. The greatest manifestation comes through inner quiet, not outer chaos. When the storm within you settles, the world outside cannot hold turbulence for long. The universe listens to your inner dialogue. Each time you say, I am worthy, the world rearranges to honor that truth. Each time you say, money flows to me with ease, you shift your frequency toward receiving. Each time you say, I am supported, life responds by supporting you. Your words do not simply describe, they direct. Your belief does not simply wish, it commands. You are not a beggar of blessings. You are a commander of energy. Speak accordingly. And if fear arises, as it sometimes will, do not bow to it. Fear is merely a shadow, a memory, a conditioned echo of a past you are outgrowing. It has no power unless you honor it. Instead of saying, what if I fail, say, what if I soar? Instead of asking, what if it doesn't work, ask, what if it unfolds beautifully? Choose the voice of expansion, not contraction. Choose the voice of destiny, not doubt. Every time you answer fear with faith, you step further into alignment, further into power, further into your divine inheritance. You must become the version of yourself who already has the life you desire. Think like them, speak like them, walk like them, expect like them. When you embody that truth consistently, the universe cannot ignore you. It must bring you what you already claim as yours. You are not trying to manifest wealth, you are remembering that you are aligned with abundance by nature. Prosperity is not something you chase, it is something you awaken. And the moment you awaken to your divine worth, the world responds as though it has been waiting for you all along. Stand tall in your knowing. Speak only what empowers you. Believe without hesitation. Trust without fear. Align without wavering. For life rises to meet those who remember their greatness, who claim their abundance, and who dare to say, I am destined for prosperity, and I am ready now. And as you hold that truth, the universe moves, creation unfolds, and every blessing written for you shines into form, guided by your certainty, called forth by your inner command. There is a sacred empowerment that awakens in the soul when you finally understand this truth. Life is not happening to you, it is responding through you. Every thought you cultivate, every belief you nurture, every emotion you feed becomes a command to the universe. You are not a passive observer in this world. You are a co-creator, a conductor of energy, a channel through which divine abundance expresses itself. The moment you realize this, life ceases to feel random. You stop waiting for miracles and begin expecting them. You stop pleading with fate and start shaping it with intention. This is where true wealth begins, not in your bank account, but in your consciousness. Wealth is not a destination, it is an identity. It is a state of being, a vibration of certainty, a frequency that recognizes itself in you before it materializes around you. When you feel prosperous internally, when you hold the energy of abundance without question, money, opportunities, and resources must appear. They have no choice. The universe does not resist alignment, it answers it. So long as you believe yourself separate from wealth, you delay what is already yours. But the instant you say, I am abundance expressing through this human form, you shift everything. Your mind opens, your energy expands, your world responds. Many try to manifest wealth with their words while their identity quietly contradicts them. They speak affirmations but walk with doubt. They say, I am rich, yet carry the energy of lack. They look at their circumstances and allow them to dictate their sense of possibility. But manifestation does not obey external evidence. It obeys inner conviction. You do not receive abundance by pretending you receive it by becoming, by embodying the version of yourself who already walks in prosperity, by choosing certainty even when circumstances look contrary. Faith is not the absence of challenge, it is the presence of power regardless of challenge. True wealth begins with the question, who am I choosing to be? Not who have I been, not who did my past shape, not what did life once teach me about scarcity, but who am I deciding to embody now? When you choose your identity consciously, you reclaim your divine authority. You choose thoughts aligned with prosperity. You choose emotions aligned with confidence. You choose actions supported by intuition, not fear. You no longer move from survival, you move from sovereignty. And the moment you choose sovereignty, life rises to meet you. The world tells you to prove yourself, to earn your place, to compete and climb and claw for success. But spiritual truth says, stand in who you are, and what is yours will seek you. You do not prove worthiness, you declare it. You do not chase opportunity, you attract it by becoming a vibrational match. When you embody wealth, you walk with calm dignity. You do not rush, you do not beg, you do not plead. You know that the supply flows where alignment lives. You understand that the universe has infinite channels to bless you, and it will use whichever aligns with your belief. And so, the work becomes internal. It becomes the daily cultivation of identity. Ask yourself each morning, what version of me is showing up today? The one who doubts or the one who commands? The one who fears lack or the one who embodies overflow? Your reality shifts the moment you do. As you strengthen the identity of abundance, opportunities come unforced. Inspired ideas rise without effort. People show up aligned with your destiny. What once felt hard becomes natural. Why? Because wealth is not created through pressure, it is recognized through identity. Even in moments of delay, do not collapse into doubt. Delays are not denials, they are alignments forming. A seed planted does not reveal its growth immediately, yet beneath the soil, life is moving. Your blessings behave the same. The moment you command abundance with identity, the universe begins arranging all that is needed for manifestation. Your role is not to doubt the process, but to remain aligned with the result. Hold the vibration, walk in the identity. Continue acting, thinking, and believing as the version of yourself who already possesses what you desire. You are not waiting, you are receiving. The universe is not testing you, it is matching you. Matching your energy, matching your certainty, matching yourself. Concept. Speak not as someone trying to become wealthy, but as one who already is. This does not mean arrogance, it means remembrance. Remembrance that you are not separate from the source that created empires, oceans, galaxies. Remembrance that you are not abandoned in your journey, you are divinely guided in every breath. Remembrance that abundance is not rare, it is everywhere, waiting for the mind bold enough to claim it. So step into your power. Call your wealth forward not with anxiety but with authority. Say, I am aligned with infinite supply. I receive effortlessly. I walk in abundance by divine right. Let that energy live in your spine, in your voice, in your posture, in your decisions. Let it ripple through your behavior until life has no choice but to obey your frequency. For you are not trying to manifest wealth, you are allowing what is already yours in spirit to take form in matter. You are the vessel, You are the field, you are the magnet. When you elevate your identity, your reality elevates in response. This is law, unwavering and eternal. Act as the abundant one. Think as the abundant one. Expect as the abundant one. And soon you will look around and see that the world has reshaped itself to mirror who you decided to become. You are worthy now. You are chosen now. You are aligned now. Nothing can block what you claim with certainty, for the divine does not hesitate when a soul remembers its power. Rise into the identity that wealth recognizes. Stand in the vibration that abundance cannot ignore. Walk as the one who knows, and every blessing marked with your name will find you in perfect time, guided by your declaration, magnetized by your belief, and delivered by the law that answers every aligned soul with grace.